Okay, these are skits I wrote 25 to 30 years
Nancy, I
ago
am
for a
so
college-age
excited
group,
about Irene
and they were
Coast.
videotaped. They're on a YouTube channel
What did
known
you
as
say about the
CCF
Ivory
90s
Coast?
Skits
No, no,
Nostalgia.
no.
You can go there if
The
you don't want to
Ivory
hear this
Coast,
commentary.
Ivory, and Coast.
And it is
Two
full
of
of,
my favorite
well, actually,
characters
this one is
on
not
Love
full of
in All the Wrong
evangelical
Places.
cringe. In
My
fact,
most
this is what I
favorite
like
soap
about
opera.
this particular one.
I
This
don't
is
watch
actually
those
just more of
things.
a parody of soap
What did you
operas
say
in
about Ivory
general,
Coast?
but
Well,
once again, the
Ivory is
topic
this
for
really
CCF
exciting
was
girl who's in the
relationships,
ballet.
which I'm told is one of the more popular
And
topics. At
Coast,
least that was the
he
one
is
that a
like
lot of people
total
just kind of go
opposite.
to.
He's into rap
And
music and sings
so I
in a
decided to
band.
just tackle the topic of kind of
So
how
how did
soap
these two
operas
get together?
show
Oh my
relationships
gosh,
as
it
being
had
this
to be
very
destiny.
convoluted thing.
One night,
And a lot of the
Ivory was
stuff,
driving in a
I
riding in a
mean,
Greyhound bus
I
on
didn't
her way to a
really.
late-night ballet
Okay,
audition,
I actually did
and
watch soap
Coast
operas
was
growing
on the
up. My
same
sister
road going in the
liked this
opposite
one,
direction.
and
And just cruising with
and
his
there and
friends.
just if you
But then,
ever watch
all
soap
of a
operas,
sudden,
it just
her
gets
bus and
so
his car collided.
strange. Just
Everyone but
like I
those two
mean,
died.
like a character will,
And the
there's no such thing as
accident
like a
that
couple
left
that is
Coast
just a normal
blind.
couple on those things. There's
Worse
always
than that,
so much stuff going
Ivory's
on like
legs
this,
were
and so
hurt,
much
and she
unlikeliness
couldn't walk.
happening all at once that it's
Their
crazy.
careers
And yeah, and there's
ruined.
murder and amnesia
And
and all sorts of
worse
things that are
yet,
happening
they were
here.
stranded in the
This
middle
plot
of
line here,
nowhere.
I feels like
But
it's
Coast
taken
had an
out,
idea. He thought he
out
could
of a soap
carry
opera. This
Ivory
idea
in his arms, and they could
that
walk
there's
home,
an
and she
accident
could
and
show her where to
one of them
go.
is struck blind and
And
one
as
of
they
them
were
can't
walking home,
walk, and then they kind of
they
form
got
this
lost.
partnership and they fall in love, and
But
it's like
they
that's such a
fell in love.
stupid romantic setup
Sounds
here.
like they fell in
And I like
lust
how
to
this guy is
me.
playing blind, especially
No,
when he does
it's
this
not
thing
like
on her
that at
face and kind of
all.
tweaks her nose like
You
that.
see,
It's just
Ivory has
hysterical. I don't even think this actor could
Ivory
keep it
has
together
always
because,
been looking for Mr.
anyway,
Right.
so it's pretty
Too
fun.
bad she's married to Mr.
So
Wrong.
yeah, there's not really much. There's no real deeper
Ivory is
level to
married?
this sketch. I
To
mean, if you
whom?
want, you could talk about
Shield,
how
her
that's.
evil, overprotective husband.
I
You
mean,
see,
there's no way you can really
Shield
compare
has a
any of
twin
these
brother
things in
named
life
Zest,
to
and there's
real life.
no way
But I
you
love
can
the
tell them
fact that these
apart.
characters are named after soap, and we have Zest here, who has that
Ivory
towel
was
that gets
once
in
in
front
love
of
with
him.
Zest,
If you're
and
not
they made
familiar,
married
Zest used to have
wedding
this
plans.
ad where this
But Shield
guy with
found
a
out,
would hold his towel
and
like
he
that,
kidnapped
covering all
him,
his
and he
nakedness,
took
just
him,
so he could
and he
say
hid him in his
"zestfully
cellar.
clean," and the towel had like a "zestfully clean"
And then
thing written on
he
it.
took his
So that's
place
more
at
of
the
a
altar.
an allusion to that.
So what did
And
Coast do?
I don't know. This is just
Not much.
I mean,
You
this
see,
this is
Coast
thing
has
is
a
pretty easy to
girlfriend
do.
too.
You just get two people who are talking about it,
Really?
and you actually play this out.
What's her name?
I feel like
Dial.
you could do this
Anyway,
sketch on Saturday Night Live or Mad
Dial, she loves
TV, and you would
Coast.
probably get the
At
same
least
amount of laughter
part of
to
her
it.
does.
And I love the
What
fact that
do
we
you
have
mean part of her?
somebody with a
Well,
multiple personality
she's a
disorder.
multiple personality
And I realize
disorder.
that I think there's a
Dial,
proper term for
regular
that,
Dial,
but
loves
I
Coast.
mean, like I could have said
But
schizophrenia. I don't know,
Alpine White
and people would have
Dial
bought it because
loves
this was the
lava.
90s. People didn't know about all this, that
Who's
this was
Lava?
actually a real thing and stuff
Lava
like
is
that. But
Coast's
stuff like this
brother.
always tends to get
He
really,
once had an affair
oh,
with
what do you call it?
Ivory,
It's just like,
and when
when
Shield
people
found out,
see this
he tried
stuff
to
and
find
they
him to
get it from
kill
TV,
him.
they think it's real.
And when he found
And
him,
oh my gosh, I
he
think
hit
that
him
is
over
that
the
guy
head
with a.
with a golf club and left him for
Gosh,
dead.
I love the fact he hits him with a golf club. He passes out like that. That looks pretty hysterical. So anyway, yeah, and the
Then
fact they're all
why?
named after
That
soaps.
was
I don't even
last
know
year.
if some of these soaps even
He
exist
wasn't
now.
really
I
dead.
mean,
He
like
was
for
just in a
example, I mean, I
coma.
think there's a character named
One
Safeguard.
day,
I have no idea if
Dial,
that's even a real
regular
thing. I'm
Dial
sure
that
Dial is
is,
still
was
around
walking
because
down the street,
I don't know,
and so
especially like the fact that
a
the
nurse came up
multiple
to
personality
help.
one is
And when he
is known as
finally
Alpine
woke
White
up,
Dial. At the
Dial
time, I actually worked at
switched
Walmart
into
and I
her other
stocked the health and
personality,
beauty aid section, so
Alpine White
maybe that's how I
Dial,
got the
and
idea
fell
of soaps. And I
instantly
think
in
maybe I
love.
was just reading the soap labels and I just kind of had this idea of what would happen if soap kind of
Did he ever
had
go
its
back
own
to
little
Ivory?
opera or something.
No,
I don't know if I
Lava
got
had
that idea like that. I
amnesia.
think just when I
He
had
thought
this
his name
idea, I
was
just kind of thought
Safeguard,
like, I remember
and he
pitching it
ended
as
up
just sort of
marrying
like
this
it's a
really
soap
sweet
opera, but
girl named Dove.
basically it's just
Dial
maintains
was
that everything was kind of after
heartbroken,
soap and
and
stuff like
she
that.
went back to
And I
Coast,
thought that was a
who
pretty good
was
idea,
still
and
heartbroken
and
because of his
people really
brief
liked this
affair with
sketch. So
Ivory.
much so, I remember pitching this one idea
That's
that
just
was going to
nuts.
be like a soap
Talking makes
opera
party nuts.
years later, and I think the people that
Okay, I'm dying to
saw
know.
that thing
How did the
thought
last
that it was
episode
just
end?
going to be this
Well, let's see.
again, but
The
it
producer said
wasn't,
something
and
like,
they really didn't like
"Tune
it.
in next next week.
because,
When
dude,
love
they just
in all
didn't
the wrong
really like it.
places. When
So,
Jeff says,
and then here's the,
Why won't these people look for
yeah,
love
there's
in
not
the
really much
right
at the end here.
places?
So yeah, I hope you like this one. I know I sure did. It's kind of one of my faves.